Johnson's decision to stand in front of police recruits while blasting Jeremy Corbyn and calling for a fresh election has gone down badly with the top brass. Chief Constable John Robbins said it wasn't part of the original plan.
I am pleased that we were chosen as the focal point of the national recruitment campaign launch, but the good news of extra officers was overshadowed by the media coverage of other events. It was the understanding of West Yorkshire Police that any involvement of our officers was solely about police officer recruitment. We had no prior knowledge that the speech would be broadened to other issues until it was delivered. Minutes before the speech, we were told that the NPAS visit and subsequent brief to a small media pool had been cancelled. I was therefore disappointed to see my police officers as a backdrop to the part of the speech that was not related to recruitment.
Well, Johnson has repeatedly emphasised the government's plan to introduce 20,000 new police recruits as part of a wide range of spending pledges. But the chair of the Home Affairs Select Committee, Yvette Cooper, has demanded the Cabinet Secretary investigates the event for impartiality and the number of police hours lost. The Prime Minister did mention the recruitment drive during yesterday's speech in Wakefield, but also strayed off topic.
This programme, as you know, is just the beginning. The first 6,000 of a programme to recruit 20,000 more police officers. Everyone is learning the caution. You know the caution. You know what you have to say when you collar someone. You do not have to say anything. Is that right? But anything you no. But if you fail to mention something, and I hate banging on about Brexit. I don't want to go on about this anymore, and I don't want an election at all. I don't want an election at all, but frankly, I cannot see any other way. Do you want this government to take us out on October the 31st, or do you want Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party to go to that crucial summit in Brussels on October the 17th, effectively hand over control to the EU? You're right. Oh, that's all right. I'm so sorry. Okay, I think that is a signal for me actively to wind up. Okay.
Well, for more on all of this, I'm now joined by former police officer Peter Kirkham. Peter, thank you very much indeed for coming in this Friday. Well, Boris Johnson, let's look about what he did say. He did talk a fair bit about the police service. I mean, is this criticism unfair?
No. There's no problem with what he's promising about restoring the numbers that have been cut. That's fantastic news. The sooner that can happen, the better. You know, and if that's what he's going to do, then he's entitled to shout that from the rooftops, because that's a massive U-turn on what had been before. However, politicking, doing campaigning type speeches with police officers as a backdrop is just not the done thing. The police are independent of government. They are constitutionally independent of government. The government can't tell them what to do, constables what to do. And this sort of optics, to use a political expression, suggests that he's got the police and, you know, he's going to sort out Brexit and he's going to sort out Jeremy Corbyn, and the police are going to back him up doing that. And that's not a good look at all. I
mean, it was that picture, wasn't it? It did look a bit sort of, as you say, sort of dictatorial. But I mean, if Boris Johnson had avoided talk of Jeremy Corbyn and the elections, the problem is then he would be accused of dodging the issue, wouldn't he, as well? So can't he win in this situation?
He needs to choose what he's going to talk about with that backdrop. If he wants to talk about other things, then don't have the police as a backdrop. Politicians go and they inspect the troops and shake hands at passing out parades, and they go on patrol with officers, and they do all of those things, and that's fantastic. But it's not campaigning, it's just supporting the police. And I'd also say need to keep the difference.
Exactly, but also it's that picture, isn't it? As you say, you've got sort of, he looks like a presidential, I could even say like a Trump figure, doesn't he? Is it that style that we're not really used to either?
I think there's a distinct look of that about it. The Americans do like to do speeches with serried ranks of various officials behind them. But this is not a unique UK thing. It's common around the world. There was an instance recently where a military general, I think, intervened with a defence minister in Australia who was doing just this, and he wandered on and said, "Excuse me, if you're going to go politicking, I'm going to take my officers away." And, "Oh, yeah, fine, take them away." Now, you know, there's a brand new Chief Constable in West Yorkshire. I suspect he was very honoured to have this visit at this important time, and he you know, was maybe a little bit naive in not asking some difficult questions about exactly what was going to happen.
I was going to say, why was there no intervention to say, can we just stop that there? But you've just
Yeah.
explained, exactly. Well, I mean, Boris Johnson today, he's with the farmers up in Scotland, but he's still taking questions about Brexit. But no one is going to say that he's going to be exploiting the farmers there, are they?
No, no, for sure, because the farmers aren't a constitutional entity within our society. And it's something that I've been concerned about for decades now, maybe since Maggie Thatcher, that the government has been using the police politically. In her case, very much so around the miners' strike. It was portrayed that the police were on her side and she was deploying the police to sort out the miners. And ever since then, we've had generations of chief constables that have got ever closer to politics. They think of themselves as politicians. I've had spat after spat with various ones of them over the years, mainly on Twitter, pointing out that they are constitutionally independent. Their duty is to speak truth unto power, and it is not to do the bidding of the government. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that goes on that effectively they will do the bidding of government. But the bottom line is that needs to be very, very carefully protected. The police in this country are of the people and have been since 1829. They're not of the state, and that is a fundamental part of our policing model, which is policing by consent. Consent of the people, not by force of the government.